Greetings. Ooh, I guess we're gonna be delayed, but it's gonna probably a few seconds later, right? On Telegram, but not Telegram, the YouTube and brand YouTube. Hi, everybody. We have a full house today. The ones individuals you can see on the Zoom, they're from Walk With Me Now, our empowerment platform, and co-created a creation of the members, which is all the space. So we're going to be looking at 2022, but before we do that, as we've done so far the past few years, we're going to do a little summary of 2021 from the perspective of spirit. Okay, so what we talked about for 2021 has pretty much come through. There's a couple of little surprises that were, to me, they were like positive surprises. So we talked about the push in February, March, around that time. We saw that push. And then we talked about summertime, when things were going to be there's going to be a lot of consequences due to the pandemic things. We're going to talk in depth on the second hour and Walk With Me Now. So if you haven't already, you can log in. So basically what we saw was that these waves and things, at second wave coming to October, November. October, there was supposed to be a lot of information given out to the general public. That happened, but the surprise was that everything kind of calmed down, because the human collective is very wise. It's a very intelligent entity. And so that's one of the things that we need to remember all the time, okay? Our 2021, how you have lived it or how individuals are living it around the world, very much depends on how ready you have been for this moment, how connected you are to other individuals that are high frequency, and also depending on how many individuals you have around influencing you who are low frequency. And it's very, very well kind of geared or dictated, has been dictated by your own personal frequency and choices. Here at the Shaman Shack, we're not at the Shaman Shack right now. We're actually in Oregon.
It's our portable Shaman Shack.
It's a portable Shaman Shack. We've had a really good year, excellent. Lots of new connections, lots of new interesting and interested individuals, awakened individuals coming into our lives, people sharing responsibility for each other and really supporting each other. And it's been really quite a fabulous year. And at the same time, I've heard and sometimes I listen to some of the things that people post on our Telegram channel. And it's been, for other people, a nightmare, hell on earth. And that's exactly what we talked about at the beginning of 2021, or the end of 2020, when we talked about 2021. I made it very, very clear to everyone, next year is going to be either extremely easy and beautiful and the best year of your life, or extremely hard and a nightmare, hell on earth, depending on what programs you're carrying with you. Whether you decide to really incarnate the neo frequency, incarnate, really, really embody the new frequency paradigm or not. And then we talked about, well, how do you do that, right? First thing, you do the fear processing exercise. It's freely available. You can download the text and you do it. That's the first thing. And then you do the classes. Everything I have put into the website, ineliabenz.com, everything there that we've worked on with the team, that's all there to make sure that you were in a good place during this time, and a good place. And if you're like, feel that you're not in a good place, just go to that website and use the tools. There's every tool that you can possibly want or imagine there that's going to help you. And take responsibility. Nobody's coming to save you, okay? No one is coming to save you. And you don't need to save anyone. All you need to do is embody the new paradigm. One of the most important things we talked about 2021 was to drop the victim-aggressor cycle, right? Just drop it. Don't engage yourself in righteousness or attacking other people or trying to save them. Do engage yourself in connecting, getting together with other high-frequency individuals and creating new educational systems, new health systems, new communication systems, new transport systems, new work systems, workplaces. And that I actually talked about since 2019, okay? In 2019, I said, okay, get off your butt and start doing this, light workers, because we don't have more time. And 2021 really is pushing people like either side, right? So one of the things, again, for the summary of 2021, most of it has been carried out that we talked about what's going to happen. The only thing that I haven't seen full on, only little bits, is the ET question that we talked about, that maybe the ET equation was going to be used in 2021, maybe in the summer, maybe in the winter, right? But there's still a question mark around that. And it didn't come about. So what was that going to be? It was going to be one of the excuses used to say why people were dying all over the world, like millions and millions of people were dying around the world. They were going to blame it on ETs. And it appears that just like everything else on planet Earth, nothing can be done without people's permission. And it appears that maybe they don't have permission to use a T equation, right, as an excuse.
Didn't need it.
Yeah, and Larry says, well, maybe they just didn't need it, right? Maybe that's their hidden card, the ace up their sleeve.
Thing went crazy.
And it's really interesting because we keep looking at it, and we laugh about it, but actually people don't laugh about this. And one of the things is that the excuses they've been using for all the deaths are actually ridiculous, but people still hold on to them that have chosen the low frequency paradigm. Now, Larry always reminds me, it's not low frequency paradigm, Inelia, it's light and dark paradigm. And that's an important point that I wanted to talk about as well, is that people who choose to stay in the light dark paradigm, they're choosing to stay in the world that you've lived in your entire life. It's not like even worse, or it's not going to get like even more fearful or low frequency. It's actually the same. It's the same world, and they're choosing to stay in that same world. Power over others, wars, torture, hidden nasty individuals doing nasty things to people, and all sorts of things that have been going on planet Earth for about 4,000 years. And they just want to carry on that dynamic, right? I was looking at it the other day thinking, well, when I came in, the equation was we were all going to expand our awareness. We're all going to raise in frequency and awareness on the planet. The entire planet was going to do this. And they basically become adults, enlightened adults. And then in 2011, this thing was brought into what I call the Planetary Council. They're not called that. They don't actually have a name. But it's a group or an entity that is made up of every single sentiency that exists on Earth. And they vote and they make decisions and they take decisions around what kind of life or experience they want to have on Earth. And in 2011, at the beginning, they got together because a clause was brought in saying that even though everybody who was born on Earth knew that the ascension, let's call it ascension, was going to happen, that expansion of awareness and frequency was going to happen, making us into adults in the universe, many people didn't want to. And some people had chosen once here that they wanted to carry on with that low frequency limited experience. So to make everybody on the planet raise their frequency and awareness was going to go against their free will. And when the free will is violated, there's a crack in the matrix. It's like a large crack happens. So after that, there's like a vote or thing, because how many people want to carry on with what you're having now, and how many people, not just people but beings as well, want to carry on as we are naturally high frequency individuals, so go back to a high frequency experience of life and being adults. And there was a division of 78% wanted to carry on and 22%, or was it the other way around? It could have been the other way around. I don't remember. With the 8 and 2 always get confusing to me. Let's say 22% decided they wanted to ascend. Not ascend in like, light bodies and we turn into light being, like light rays, and we go up into the sky, or crystal bodies. No. Ascend in the sense of expand your awareness and your natural frequency to be expressed that way. And 22%, let's say. So I was shocked at the time, right? And I couldn't understand why so many people had agreed to that, and why not, let's just do it, But then when I looked at it this week, I saw that the little key sentence there is, when you break somebody's free will because of the rules of engagement on the planet Earth and this physical universe, you create a crack in the matrix. And when you create that crack, anything can happen. So, and it's usually the ones that creates the crack that loses out. So it occurred to me that maybe it was the light frequency individuals who brought this to the council, because if we had carried on and created that high frequency experience for everybody on the planet, and unknowingly or knowingly perhaps, we would have broken free will all over for 6 billion people or something, 5 billion people. That would have been a big crack in the matrix, and it wouldn't have been nice. Maybe the entire universe would have cracked. We don't know. These things are so beyond our comprehension as human beings that we can just tap into them a little bit and feel into them and truth them. But it's like, it brought me back to a location where I understood what was happening for 2021 and everything that we've been going through, and why our experience of 2021 has been so radically different to everybody who's chosen the low frequency experience, right? How are we doing for time?
It's 15 minutes past hour.
Oh, good. Because I wanted to do like the summary, just keep it short. So that was one of the things that came in about 2021, and also the dampening down on the fear factor, the wave of fear that was going to come through like a tsunami through Earth during the summer or winter, and that was kind of got stopped, and I was looking at that, And I thought, oh, that's really clever, because the human collective is really intelligent. And as a human collective, we have chosen to have a gentle experience during the split, right? Not like a meteorite falling on Earth and killing 7 billion people. We didn't want that. We wanted a really gentle experience going through it. And it has been gentle. It is gentle. If you pull away from righteousness, if you take away righteousness from yourself, you will find that the split is actually very, very gentle. Okay. So that's the summary. Ilia or Adelina, did I miss anything with regards to 2021?
No, I don't think so. You got all of it.
Okay. Perfect. All right, let's go to 2022. And of course, here's going to be the light version. If you want to know more details, we're going to be putting that only on Walk With Me now. It's not going to be public. So, the Human Collective 2022 is when I've been tapping into it, and I've been tapping into it for the past week or so. I'll just go in and see, okay, what are we doing here? What are we going to be doing in 2022? And that the split is so intense that I actually have to have two sets of eyes looking at 2022. Because just like what we saw for 2021 in a kind of light way, although in 2021 we were still affected sometimes, right? When we tried to cross over to the other paradigm and still use those places. But for 2022, it is so different that I decided the way that I'm going to talk about it on this first hour is I'm going to first delineate what's going to happen to people who have chosen the low frequency paradigm. And then I'm going to go and let you know what's happening with us, with the people who have chosen the high frequency paradigm. Now, as I tap into it, I can feel a lot of excitement and also a lot of fear. Even in the people who are watching this today live and also listening to it later, there's an element of fear. And one of the things that I wanted to remind everyone that the energy of fear and the energy of excitement are very, very similar to each other. Very similar. And just by a little click in your head, you can turn one to the other. So that element of fear, you can just click it and turn it into excitement. Now, one of the things that I have noticed is that the element of fear that we have in this group, in this people, the people who are listening to this, is about, did I choose the high frequency paradigm? Am I going to be okay? Or am I actually in the low frequency paradigm? Right? That's the main one. And this is where the mandate kind of for the high frequency individuals is very, very strict. Okay. So here it is. You don't have a choice. Okay. You came here for one reason and one reason only, to be alive at this time. And that reason, right? The reason why you are here today is to embody the high frequency paradigm. That's it. So it's not about, oh, did I choose the wrong one by mistake? I would ask you, well, today, how many times have you indulged in low frequency things? Right? And how many of those times did you immediately stop yourself and say, no, I'm not playing those anymore. I can't afford to play that anymore. I'm going to raise my frequency right now. How many times has that happened? Okay. So that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. It's not about you. And I mean, how could you possibly make an error in your conscious choice? You haven't. Your conscious choice is high frequency paradigm. right? What does that mean? It means that you probably don't like war, right? You probably don't like torturing people, right? Or being tortured by people, or bombing different countries, or murdering people, or making them suffer, right? You probably don't like any of those things, and you don't want a world that has those things in it. So if that's you, all you need to do is be the high frequency individual that you actually are. And yes, we do fall into low frequency invitation sometimes. And when we do that, we process it. The tools are in my website. Go there, get those tools, use them, educate yourself. Ilia and I have worked endless hours to get all that information to you. All you have to do is just go there and get it, so that you have the education, you train yourself, and you learn how to embody your high frequency self, to be your true self here on earth. We've done that for you. And at the same time for us, because the more people that start embodying the high frequency paradigm, the better it is for all of us, right? So that's one of the things to look at in 2022. You don't have time to fiddle around. You really need to pull your finger out, because it's like you have to do it. You have to do it. It's not like a choice anymore, because if you don't, guaranteed you're not going to have a very pleasant rest of your life. It's the way that it is. And why would I say that? Because if you are indulging in low frequency things are not pleasant, right? That's all we're talking about. It's your choice. You're doing. And you might think, well, I don't like your tools, Inelia. Can I get somewhere? Can I get something else? Absolutely. If you find something that works for you, go for it. But make sure that it's not codependent. Make sure that you're the boss of it, and that it allows you to make conscious choices and keep yourself in high frequency state. And I can see and I can feel as you hear, this is my choice, and it's actually something that I can do, right? I can do this. And, we're all going to find ourselves in situations where it's like, it's too much, it's like we feel this is too much. I just can't stand this. When you're in one of those situations, the best tool that I know of is to say, this too will pass. I just have to hold on a minute, hold on a month, hold on a year. This too will pass. It's going to be just fine, right? This too will pass. Like everything else on the planet, like everything else in your life, this too will pass. So that's one of the best tools that I can think of. And the most powerful, and I want you to share everywhere with everybody, is the fear processing exercise. And you can download the text for free at my website, ineliabenz.com. Okay, just go there, get it, boom, you got it. So that is the first thing that we can look at 2022, how the two worlds have really divided themselves. And I'm dealing with individuals who have chosen the high frequency paradigm, right? And that is you, because you wouldn't be in this call if you hadn't. So, and I know that some people are watching this call that have chosen the low frequency paradigm and just hear spine or whatever, And funnily enough, you might be careful, because, this information might contaminate you. So you better stop listening. I'm talking about trolls and whatnot, right? So when we look at 2022, like I said, there's two very different paths down 2022, and it is our choice which path we go into or are on. And one of the items that is very important for 2022 is to make sure that you stay in the path that is high frequency. Okay, really important. Don't get sucked into low frequency engagements and invitations. Don't fall into fear. Don't take any decisions out of fear. Just make them out of discernment. Okay. Now, the thing that a lot of people are interested in this call is, well, what's going to happen at a world government level, the media, or what's happening with all these different countries and states, and how we're moving forward, the very physical aspect of the low frequency paradigm, or I should say, the split. And from that perspective, I want to talk about, so there's I'm just make sure that I cover everything. So there's a period between January and March again. Okay. And then April to June, July, mid-July. And then the mid-July until end of September. And then it's October, November, and December. I don't know why they kind of split very similarly every year. So, and of course we're still at the end of 2021. If you're here live, there's a little bit that you should be aware for the rest of the December that is also included in January to March. And that is a big wave of deaths around the planet. The explanation for these deaths is going to be very creative. And we're going to talk about what actually causes these on our private hour. But if you're here, you probably figured it out. So those are going to be given really ridiculous reasons, or like the people are dying because blah blah blah, and that blah 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 is going to be utterly ridiculous, right? Like global warming, or I don't know, cold weather, or a flare, sun flare, or yeah. It's going to be very creative, right? Certain viruses maybe that they name or they call viruses that may be blamed for it. And again, if these are really ridiculous things, so if any of those fail, then the ET equation will be brought in. It does feel like it's the ace up the sleeve. Okay, they're going to use that as the last resort. Then between April and around mid-July, the main aspect of those months is going to be financial turmoil, right? So make sure you have your ducks in a row. Make sure you have a structure and a network of individuals that you can work with and support and be supported by, that will make sure that you're just fine. That it doesn't matter if you lose your job. It doesn't matter if the bank loses all their money. It doesn't matter if crypto crashes or market crashes. It doesn't matter if the dollar's not worth any money anymore, because you have this network that will make sure you're okay, and you're going to make sure they're okay. Okay. So, a lot of big fortunes are going to be made during that time as well. Okay. So come July, mid-July, all the way through August and September, there's going to be the implementation of the cabals or the elites new systems of governance. And this new systems of governance will be total financial control. They want to collapse. That's why they want to collapse it beforehand, so that they can go in and recreate it in their own image. This will only work, like I said, this is the side that is fear-based and controlled by the low-frequency choices, remember? So if you're not in that structure, you're not going to be affected at all, like zero. They also are going to start implementing, like pushing really hard on the blame game. So there's going to be a blame game mid-July to August, September. Blame game for the financial collapse, the whole bunch of deaths around the planet, and all sorts of other things.
Plenty of blame to go around.
There's going to be plenty of blame to go around, yeah. And there's going to be like a false white hat thing, that there's going to be people who will claim to be white hats. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. That term means people who work in deep government and deep state, deep church, who are actually kind of moles or spies and are ready to take over when everything goes haywire. To me, these people have always been false. They're like the ones that are on standby to take over if everything collapses, or when they want to make everything collapse on the planet. That's what they do. They take over. So that's probably going to be right up there. Probably feeding into October, November, December of 2022 and even 2023. So that's some of that information. How are we doing for time? I need to...
You're good. 22. Or you got 30.
I got 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30.
Okay. October, November, December for next year, there's going to be some stuff that we're not really going to see very publicly unless you're really into the rabbit hole. You know, but there will be quite a lot of infighting among the elite, and that will spill over with some really, you're going to remember this in October, November, December, some really bizarro public figures doing some really bizarro things. And we're going to be looking at possibly like singers or actors and things like that being pulled like marionettes left, right, and center by different factions. So that's probably what we will get to see, unless you are, like I said, deep in the rabbit hole or part of those type of environments. There's another player in the whole thing with regards to white hats and elites and who wants to be in power and all that. There's a group of individuals who are actually what I would consider pure light, and they've been guided and they've been working to figure out that a clean and painless transition of Earth from the low frequency exploiters to the high frequency awakened individuals. But, and there's the big but here, this is where you come in, because you are the people who are here to create that high frequency place, experience on Earth, right? And I'm talking about physical things, not just woo-woo, like, oh, I'm going to sit in meditation for the next year. That's not going to work. Well, it will, but not if everybody does it. Maybe, if you're one of those individuals who are really good at it, that's your job, do that, hold the space. But the rest of us need to get down to brass tacks. We need to literally create a new system so that these individuals who are in the upper echelons of the human collective's power structure and are pure light can then hand over that power to you. Okay. And again, like I'm saying, it's not about you waiting for things to happen. How can you support these people? By embodying the high frequency paradigm day in and day out. Stop indulging in low frequency stuff. Okay. So again, linear time for me is I'm not the strongest at linear time. I'm not the strongest of it. Remember this. So even though I had a clear scene of what's planned for next year, we are human collective, and human collective is extremely intelligent. And we have chosen this path of gentleness. So remember that before, like as we go through the year, the order is right. The order is accurate. But the months might move a little bit this way, a little bit that way, right? But I'm pretty sure that the order is how it's going to be. And so for the last bit, before we wrap up the first hour, I want to talk about the ibensacademy.com. We've put together a fantastic series of lectures called the Emergency Series. Now, in that lecture series, you have all the tools, again, like tons of things specifically for this time, okay? For when you're working from home, when you have mandates and other situations, you have people, you have relatives, you have children, you have by yourself. All these things are covered in the emergency series. It's for this time only. And there's 50% off, right? And you need to get it because I think we only have a few days. In a couple of days, it's going to go off market and then it's over. That's not going to be sold offline, okay? That's not going to be sold in the store. And you're going to have to wait until the next time if we ever release it again. So make sure you get in. Make sure you get that right away. Like I said, tools and everything are being put together. We're working really hard to get everything that you need in place so that you can be the person who embodies the high frequency paradigm on Earth. Okay. The more of us that do that, the more of us who decide and make that commitment, the better we are, the better and more powerful that we become. Okay. This is really, really important. And then for the next bit, what we're going to do, one of our favorites, we have like 20 minutes, I think, right?
Oh yeah, weren't you going to go do the high frequency side of that? How it comes, if you're embodying high frequency, what it looks like.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes. So.
Before you pick cards.
So, yes. So the human collective, right? We talked about it's intelligent. You're here on Earth right now, and it's not an accident. So the high frequency collective, which is us, right? For 2022, like I said, it's not like we can see this happening and rolling out on Earth, right? So what do we do between now, December 2021 and March of 2022, when we see all these people talking about deaths around the planet and everything, the whys and where nots and blah, blah.
Sense, and making stuff up. I can't possibly believe that. That's what we might feel.
Yeah. We might feel righteous, frustrated, angry, and probably sad if our loved ones start popping, right? And I mean, we've experienced it ourselves. And it's harsh. It's really, really harsh. We mourn in a high frequency way, which means we don't go around attacking people, okay? That's not our game. That's the invitation for low frequency and righteousness. And we really have to understand that this is a high level expanded awareness, higher self level choice for each person. Okay, they have chosen this. And I don't care what the reason was. Oh, I had to choose it because travel or work or whatever. So I have to choose this path because of this, this, and the other. That's fine. That's just the excuses that were necessary for that person to remember their choice. Okay? And anything that's fear-based or taken because of sadness or fear of sadness is not a good decision. And I have experiences in my own life where I took decisions, very, very powerful decisions, because I didn't want to suffer or be in pain anymore. And those were bad, bad decisions, really bad decisions. Instead, I should have processed my pain. I should have processed my fear and moved forward from there, right? So I didn't have the tools at the time. They hadn't come in, so I wasn't able to. So those are the type of things that we need to remember, especially through this winter. Winter in the north, summer in the south. It's going to be really interesting. In the north, we have the excuse of lack of sun and winter and cold and whatnot. In the south, not so much. So it'll be interesting to see what excuses are used for all these deaths in the south in the summer. So stay above water. Not just stay above water, but go for a nice little swim. It's like enjoy yourself. And we talk about source energy being joy, light, love. Joy, light, and love. And I said that's a summary because source energy of light could be there's so many things, so many words, but we'd be talking about 2 hours to describe it, and then we wouldn't even cover it. So we minimize the words to joy, light, and love. And the other day, we were listening to some guy in a podcast, and he was talking about I don't recommend him, by the way, because he actually was hijacked. But he was saying, yeah, I figured out that life is about playfulness, light, and love. And I thought, hey, wait, that's just another way of saying joy, light, love. So the words and the information are getting out there, right? So that's for us. For us, next year is not about so much what's happening because that's our individual choice, right? So I can't say, hey, for everybody who's high frequency between December and March, you're going to be feeling this or have that experience. No, because it's your choice. You are sovereigns. So it's impossible to figure out what a sovereign will decide moment to moment. All I can say is for us, the high frequency individuals, for next year, we have mandates. We have orders, and we better follow those orders, okay? And for between all of winter in the north and all of summer in the south, between December this year and March next year, we need to make sure that we learn that embodiment of high frequency and do not fall into righteousness. And instead, really step up and start creating those new structures. And folk, don't try and do it on your own, okay? Because that is counter our new paradigm. Get yourself into the tribe, into tribes around you, lots of tribes that are doing different things. So I'm part of a tribe that makes sure that physically we're all taken care of. I'm part of a tribe that educationally is forming groups all around the planet. I'm part of a tribe that we are like literally daily forming ourselves, strengthening ourselves, and teaching ourselves how to embody the high frequency paradigm. And that feeds into all the others, all of our lives. That's Walk With Me Now. And it's all around the world. And the field of energy is real. I've been talking about this for days now for different people about the field of energy. What field of energy are we? And the power of it, the strength of it, and the light and the joy, light, love of it is just amazing, amazing. Physically speaking, the more, I have always said decentralized, but decentralized, like within half an hour of each other, connect with people in your area, because that physical field is powerful. It will change your life. And then the physical field all around within Walk With Me Now, all around the planet, each person is is their own battery of that joy, light, love, source energy. And not only do they have that in their environment, but also other people will then start transforming their lives through their own choices, right? It's like an amplification of frequencies. So yeah, that will be up to March. Now from April to mid-July, during this financial turmoil, one of the things that we've been playing with crypto, we've been playing with buying land, we've been playing with taking our money, energies like out of the financial banking system and into more like solid things like land, right? But also other things that are physical. And also the opposite of that, which is crypto, which is not physicality at all. It's all digital. Now with the crypto stuff, I have to tell you, it is an extremely volatile market, extremely volatile. So we can see, oh yeah, my viewpoint for it is like, I bought a lot when it felt like it was going to go up. Even though the crypto market has crashed, I still have more than what I bought. And I expect for there to be a peak in December coming up. That's going to be, radical. And I'm going to sell everything except my initial investment in crypto then. And I'm going to move that money over to land. So that's what I'm going to do. I can't give you financial advice. And all the advice I can tell you is this is a gamble. It could blow up in all our faces. It's like gambling, like a game. So don't spend any money that you can't afford to lose. That's all I'm saying about crypto. And then it's expected that during that mid-July, September, like July, August, September, they are expecting through that financial reforming and everything, there might be another really huge amount of crypto available. Like you might make quite a few fortunes on that one. With regards to cryptos, I would also, as a high frequency individual, move to creating or moving into virtual worlds. Now, this is where the interesting part about high frequency individuals really fascinates me, because we are like literally moving together in the same ship. We all want that high frequency experience and creating it here on Earth. But we're so different to each other. And there's so many guilds in that ship working together. And that's my advice would be work together. So we have individuals who are all about technologies, computers, crypto, virtual worlds, and all that stuff. And I'm one of those individuals. And there's also individuals who are all about the earth and permaculture and start your own garden and teaching people left, right, and center how to start their garden in their apartment, right? Through pots and lights and whatever, so that they're independent, they have vegetables and even a little chicken or something to lay their eggs or meat, Although in an apartment, you're going to have diapers for that bird, and also it's going to be your pet, so you'll never be able to eat it. And I'm one of those, right? I love permaculture. I love planting seeds and seeing the earth and Gaia support us and give us everything that we need. I love that part too. And then there's the people who are really strong, powerful energy workers of spirituality that we might call, like people who are really good at going to an ultra high frequency state and holding high frequency energy fields of pure heart. And we've been playing with that too. And I'm one of those too. So, that's why I could see that we're so many in this ship and there's so many different energies and we work together. Okay. So if you are a permaculturist or a person of Gaia, don't attack the tech, the geek, the nerd, don't attack them, because we are your allies, right? And if you're a nerd and a geek and everything, don't attack the people who are planting trees and flowers, because we are your allies. right? So, and of course, there's other groups. I felt the Divine Masculine powerfully coming online this year. And what are they doing? They're protecting they're actually digging the holes to plant the trees, and they're making structures and building houses and building school. Like they call them daycare these days, so they're not schools anymore, for homeschool kids. And they're, making sure that the children are educated and well protected and cared for and supplied for, and everybody's got enough food in their belly. And that's been a really beautiful thing to watch and participate in. I can't say I'm part of that group because I'm a woman, right? But I'm surrounded by these men, and I see them stepping into their power, and without apology, right? So the whole thing of the men who are corrupt and demonizing everything on the planet. Yeah, most of those people are men, but there's plenty of women too. And they are no longer in charge of this planet. So again, the ship carries a lot of different individuals. We have to be aware of that and ally ourselves with ourselves. Your strength is our strength is your strength. And our strength is our strength, and our strength is our strength. We are strong as our strongest individual in any topic, in any area of our lives. Okay? We're strong as our strongest ally. Allies, teachers, friends, and supporters. That's what we are for each other. That's how we need to move forward, right? So during that mid-July, September, you can, gamble, play, or really knuckle down and make sure that you're in a place that you need to be. And that I've said that for 2 years now. Make sure that where you are for 2022 is somewhere you really, really like. And you're going to be happy and settled in, because you're not going to be wanting to travel, okay? Are we 5 minutes in or something?
We got 7.
Okay.
7 more minutes.
All right.
It's like you were saying, if you don't know how to fish, follow a good fisherman.
Yeah. So if you don't know how to fish, just get a friend that's a really good fisherman.
You follow him.
And you follow them. Yes.
Don't know crypto? Well, have a friend.
Yeah.
Don't know a plant? Have a friend.
Yeah. And that's what we're talking about, tribes here. Okay. So the other side of this call and walk with me now and everything is that people may accuse me or us of being a cult. And all I have to say to those people, okay, fine, whatever's, bye. Because I'm not going to even engage in that type of paradigm. And anybody who has that fear, you're in the wrong call. You need to switch off this call and go somewhere else, okay? And if you're in Walk With Me Now, whatever, but you're still carrying those fears, process them. Once you process them, you can make a decision whether to stay or go. And you can come and go, like I said before. We have a lot of friends who've been Walk With Me Now members and are no longer Walk With Me Now members. We have tons of people who are now Walk With Me Now members. And this month we saw a ton of all Walk With Me Now members come back. Right? Mm-hmm. And people are free to come and go. As long as you follow, while you're in Walk With Me Now, you follow our rules of engagement, which are very public and are out there. They're based on respect, kindness, expansion of awareness, and responsibility rather than reactivity. Okay. So that's it, basically our rules of engagement. And I don't create Walk With Me Now. Okay. So to me, everybody who's there is the owner of Walk With Me Now, right? With other owners, and we're learning how to work with each other. And that's why we started that experiment, to learn how to work with each other around the world in a high frequency way. And now it's like in a physical way, we have found a ton of allies to be able to be in a really good place, Okay, let's go to October, November, December of next year. As a high frequency individual, you're going to have to take over the ship, man.
You have to start driving.
You're going to have to start driving the ship of this planet. So make sure you're ready. And because you're going to be called to lead the planet, right? And the emergency series is all about leadership. And somebody said, well, I'm not a good leader. I just like to teach and this and that. And the emergency series teaches you how to lead in every single way that you can possibly imagine. Okay. So whether it's leading through example, leading through meditations, leading through whatever it is, it's like, or actually going out there and say, okay, we're going to do this, this and the other. What do you guys think? We talk about sociocracy and things like that for that type of leadership, right? So yeah, October, November, December 2022, as a high frequency individual, you really need to get your act on. You need to start driving the ship. And I guess we don't have time for a card, huh?
Maybe one. You got 4 minutes.
4 minutes for a card. Okay. I think we covered all the months.
Yes.
All right. Let's just pull out a really fast card. And I'm using the
Angels and Ancestors.
Yeah, Angels and Ancestors. These cards are connected to the high frequency human collective of Earth. And we're asking for them to tell us about some guidance or focus that we need to have for 2022. Okay. And we got Direction Guardian. Choose your path. You can't make this stuff up, man. Okay, so that one.
Guess you got it. You figured it out. Choose your path.
Choose your path. My goodness, that's so good. I love it. I love it. Direction Guardian. Choose your path. Okay, Direction Guardian. We'll just do the few more minutes if we're not finished. Direction Guardian. 96. Okay, the Direction Guardian message. Connect with your deepest desires and choose the path that will make your heart and soul sing. Yeah! About. The Direction Guardian card represents the angels of direction. These amazing angels are the ones who come to us when we are at crossroads and don't know which way to go, when we're unsure what is the right for us and the bigger picture. They can help us know what is best for all involved. The Direction Guardians refers to the vision of the Hebrew prophet Ezekiel, who is said to have seen an angel with 4 different faces. One was a child, a cherub. One was a bull, one was a lion, and one was an eagle. These 4 faces show that angels can appear in many guises and in many different directions, but always for our highest good. Your path isn't set in stone, and your angels and guides have no expectations of you or for you, nor should you have any for yourself. There are many directions you can take. None of them are wrong, as they all hold perfect opportunities to grow and to learn. But life is to be enjoyed and savored. So, if you know that there's a decision to be made, and particularly if you're feeling indecisive, choose the path you know is going to make you light up. And choose with your heart. Yes, choose with your heart. Yay!
Divine heart, maybe?
What?
Embody divine heart. Choose
Yeah,
that,
embody the pure heart, right? Yeah. We do every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. We get together and embody the pure heart.
So if you have a question or a decision or a wonder.
Yes. And where do we gather? Because people say, where do you gather?
Wherever we are.
Yes, exactly. We do it at Shamshak.
If we're there.
If we're there, otherwise,
Wherever we are.
Wherever we are. And wherever you are, just sit for an hour with the intent, embody the pure heart. And that's it for our first hour. Thank you for coming. And I don't know how many individuals were live on with us, but it feels like a lot. So thank you.
600 record for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Good
We
job.
have a record. Yay. And we'll see you next time. Bye.